They say that kitty's got.
Okay guys, this is what you're going to need to make this pancake. You're going to need a medium-sized ball of tan clay, a little tiny ball of yellow clay. You're going to need a blade, and you're going to need some Sculpey glaze, or really whatever glaze you want to use. I'm using the gloss version of Sculpey glaze. And you're going to need a bottle cap, or like whatever you're going to mix something in. You're going to need a toothpick, a paintbrush, and mine's a little bit too small. I recognize that now. I should have used one that was fatter. Anyway, there's a cotton round and some rubbing alcohol. And you're going to need your pastels. And those are my new chalk pastels. They're a little bit small, but they're cool. And the brand is Mungyo. And they have a lot of colors. Even though they're small, they kind of come in handy, and I like them a lot better than my other ones, so I'm not really complaining. Okay, and so the first thing you're going to do is take your your tan clay. And you're just going to like condition it. And that is going to be one big pancake. I like to make my pancakes pretty big. You might prefer to make them smaller, so just use your discretion and, you know, make whatever size ball you want. Anyway, so what you're going to do is you're going to roll it into a ball, and you're going to press the sides down. The top, like the middle, is going to be a little bit more raised than the sides, so yeah. And you're going to want to make it into a kind of a circle shape. It doesn't have to be perfect, because, you know, pancakes aren't perfect, but, you know. And notice that I didn't clean off my tile first. It was because I had done that, like, before the video. It was, like, really super dirty, and so I didn't want to start putting stuff on it while it was still dirty, but you need to do that, you know, before anything. Alright, cool. So there's your shape. And now you're going to take, this is kind of a dark yellow. I didn't really need to scrape it there. Actually, my new pastels are a lot softer now, so you don't have to scrape it. You can just like rub your paintbrush on it, and it'll be cool. But you can use the dark yellow. I'm not sure if I really like this color or not. I just use this one because this is what everybody does. Like on any tutorial, they use this color for making like a toasted, baked, you know, effect. But see, the problem was that on my other pastels, I didn't have that color, so I just used a light brown. And I think that they came out pretty cool that way. I make a lot of pancakes, and I know that pancakes really don't come out this like yellow color, but I decided to give it a shot because it's my first time using that color. But see, I'm reverting back to my like light brown because I just like it so much more. It just creates such a much more realistic effect. So really, it's really up to you. It's really just up to your discretion. I just like this color a whole lot better. And really, the two colors mixed, you'll see some people will do like a base of that light yellow, and then they'll put the light brown on top. So really, it doesn't matter. Alright, cool. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get out your little ball of yellow clay. And that's for your pat of butter. And to be honest with you, with a pancake of this size, you could have probably just left it the size that it is now and just cut off the edges to make a square, but I didn't do that, and I made my little pat of butter like way too small for this pancake. But ultimately, you're just going to need a square. God, I cut off so much I didn't even realize how much I was cutting off. Anyway, yeah, see how super tiny that is for that big old pancake? I kind of pressed it down a little bit more when I realized that it was so tiny to kind of make it bigger, but yeah, it didn't really help. But I guess it looks okay like that. I would have just made it a little bit bigger if I would have done this again. So yeah, there's your butter. And now what you're going to do is take your chalk. I'm going to use a rich deep brown. That's the color of syrup. And I'm just going to shave off a little bit into the cap. And you're going to see in a few minutes that I had to actually add more pigment to the bottle cap because it was just too weak. But now you're going to use your glaze, and I'm just going to talk through this. I didn't realize that I didn't edit this part out. It's kind of funny, but both of my Sculpey jars, I have two, the paper on the inside of the cap stuck to the jar, so it was hard to open. And it did that on both of my jars, and I was like really, really frustrated. But anyway, yeah, so adding pigment to glaze, you can definitely use oil paint that will create a better effect. I just used chalk on here. I didn't have my oil paints with me. Chalk kind of makes the syrup look a little bit grainy. You're not going to want to use too much of this stuff because this stuff is like gold. It's such a good glaze and it's used for like everything. So you're not going to want to use too much if your pancake doesn't need that much because then you're going to end up wasting it. But see, I'm mixing it and it's too thin. And, well, my bottle cap was kind of too big in the first place. I should have used a smaller one. I just didn't have one. But, so I have to add more pigment to it. And I'm starting not to like the way that chalk makes the syrup look. Plus, I mean, you waste so much of your chalk, like, shaving it down like that. So, I think from now on, I'm just going to start using oil pastel to make, like, syrup and stuff. It's just so much nicer looking. But I'm mixing it up pretty good right here. And, and keep in mind, if you do use oil paint, please don't put too much. Don't squeeze it out. Just kind of dip your toothpick into the tube and that'll be plenty enough. Okay, so now I'm like drizzling it on top. And you're just going to spread it around however you want. Now keep in mind that you're going to want to bake your pancake before you do this step. Because if you bake it afterwards, the glaze will pretty much just fry and it will look really ugly. So before you add your syrup, don't even mix your syrup until after it's baked because then it will dry up. Before you do your syrup, make sure that you stick your little pancake in the oven on 275 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 20 minutes. And then afterwards, after it's cooled and been baked and everything, then you can add your syrup on top. And that's how it comes out. It's really, really a nice looking thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and happy crafting.